Batdan's Thoughts is here. Welcome to the show, Batdan.
Welcome, Batdan. Thank you for being here, buddy. It's nice to have you back. Nice to have you on the platform tonight, buddy.
Nice to be
How's
back.
It going today?
It's going great. It's going really well today. Just talking about some geek topics today. Really excited and lots of great stuff happening. Lots of very interesting stuff happening online right now. I'll say that.
Nice. How was your holidays with the family right now with for New Year's and Christmas? What'd you do?
It was nice. I went to Florida, went to the Magic Kingdom for a day. It was really fun.
Oh, nice.
I've never been to Florida. I'm very envious, Batdan.
Is that where you're originally from, or you have family down in Florida?
I have family now in Florida.
Okay. Cool, man. Cool. Well, so Batdan, we're just going to ask you some questions. You know, we want the audience, we want the people to know who you are. So tell us about yourself. What is the story of Batdan? What is the very first comic book? What was your very first comic book experience?
My very first comic book experience, huh? Because I've read comic books, but I've read them for so long that I don't remember what my first one really was. I remember I got into the superhero genre through Justice League, the animated series. That was my very first time into getting involved in the DC universe.
So the show pretty much converted you into a DC fan. Am I correct in that statement?
Yeah, it was kind of like a gradual step. So I'd say the first step was Justice League, which made me any kind of casual fan. And then I watched Smallville 2 before that show died to me, thanks to some of the actors' behavior towards Zack Snyder. But anyways, and then what really got me really passionate about DC and Batman specifically was The Dark Knight, was Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker.
I love The Dark Knight. That's right up there for me as one of the best Batman movies that they'll ever put out. It's right up there with Zack Snyder stuff, in my opinion.
Oh, it is. I think it's the best solo movie.
Definitely. So it's safe to say that that's what basically got you into comic book fandom.
Yes, I would say 100%.
Gotcha. Okay. So can we just go right into it then? So what is your favorite comic book film and why?
I would say Zack Snyder's Justice League, because I love the story of coming together to fight a greater threat. And it's the meaning behind it, too. The fact that we as fans fought so long and so hard for this movie. It's just watching this movie, it shows a sense of accomplishment, too. And seeing
I can agree with that statement. Yeah. It's like a metaphor in a way, you know, because we achieved the impossible, and this movie also achieved the impossible, you know. So yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that statement, Batdan.
And when we get ZSJL 2 and 3, it will happen again. It'll be the impossible achieved again.
Definitely, man. So, how did you find out about the online? How did you find out about the online campaigns for Zack Snyder's Justice League, and what made you get involved with that?
I would say I first found out about it through YouTuber Subjective Reviews, Tyler. He's someone who's not really active anymore. He'll like do a video like on occasion, like 2 years later, but at the time he was very active, and that's when I was starting to see it's not just me. It's because I would watch these other YouTubers who made a career out of hating Zack Snyder, who was like, basically, they were so obsessed with Zack Snyder that they just talked about him all the time.
Because Zack gets the clicks, exactly.
Gets the clicks, yeah. We've said this before multiple times, that hating Zack Snyder is a lucrative business.
There's money to be made.
Which is sad. It's just sad that hating gets clicks, but I realize that's the algorithm for YouTube. But yeah, I would say it was Subjective Reviews. I saw some other YouTubers, and then eventually I got involved with Sil Abdul and Mikey Sutton. I saw them, and then, yeah, obviously certain things happened after that. But then from there, I got involved with a lot of other people like Skywalker the Jedi, Trey of the Bat Channel, Zod Writer, a lot of great people that I got involved with. It's just kind of the thing. You watch YouTubers, you see them on other platforms, you watch those YouTubers on other platforms, and then you watch other YouTubers. It's a cycle. It's a big
cycle, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's also a network because that's how the word keeps spreading, conversations keeps going,
Mhm.
and everybody gets to know
I was
everybody
going
and
to
meet
say that. That's
everybody.
exactly how we all got
You
to
know,
know each other and
yeah,
how we all got to meet each other. Exactly. Yep.
Which is a great
yeah.
thing about this community is the networking.
Mhm.
Now let me ask you this, Batman. Other than DC, what other passions do you have? What other IPs do you like to follow? I mean, because we have people that love Harry Potter, we have the Lord of the Rings, we have people that love, let's say, for instance, Dungeons and Dragons, Marvel. What other stuff? What other stuff are you passionate other than DC?
Okay, other than DC, and I'm going to leave out Zack Snyder too, just because those things are so heavily affiliated. So I would say I'm very passionate about Star Wars. Hashtag justice for fives.
Okay.
All right,
Awesome. So,
all right.
out of the Star Wars franchise, what like rank the films? What are your favorites and why?
I would say my very favorite is Revenge of the Sith. I think it's the most dramatic. I love the score. I love the duel or the fight on Mustafar. That is my all-time favorite lightsaber fight, and just seeing great acting. I think some of the best acting is in that movie from Hayden Christensen. I know they made this may be a hot take, but I think Hayden Christensen does a great job in that movie.
Mhm.
Oh, he
Ewan
does.
McGregor,
Yeah.
Ian McDermott, and then after that, I would say Empire Strikes Back, A New Hope. Um,
It's funny because a lot of people I've spoken to a lot of people that always tell me that like of the original trilogy, like the not the special edition ones, but the original three, Empire Strikes Back is like the best one. Why I don't know, but you're not the first person to say that, Bat Dan.
Are you a fan of any of the new Star Wars stuff that they've been putting out there these last few years? Any of the new shows, or even the new trilogy that recently came out a few years back?
so I have a very love-hate relationship with Disney Star Wars. I don't hate everything Disney Star Wars, but there's a lot of Disney Star Wars I don't like. Like for example, I don't like episodes 8 and 9. I do Force Awakens isn't that bad. I think Force Awakens is decent,
I saw
but
Force Awakens
I
in
do,
theaters when
yeah.
that one came out, and I actually really enjoyed that one for what it was.
I do too. And I think honestly, if you had one direct, like I firmly believe if J.J. Abrams had directed all three of those movies, I think it would have been a lot better just for the fact that it would have been one director's vision. So the
Yeah.
biggest issue with the
Right.
sequel trilogy is the tug of war. But I would say other Star Wars I like. And now I've been a big fan. I know this is not all Disney technically, but I'm a big fan of the Clone Wars series. That's where Justice for
Nice.
Fives comes from. Is the
Yep.
hashtag
Yep.
I invented
Yep.
in honor of the clone who tried to
Tried to. Yeah,
stealth
I know
out.
what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
But then in Rebels
Have you
2,
seen
and
have you seen the Bad Batch?
yes, I love the Bad
You
Batch.
saw
I think
that?
that ending was a strong ending to the series. I wanted Nala Say to suffer a worse fate though for Fives. That was my one of my only criticisms of the series at the end. But I think it was a really it, I feel like season 1 has some boring filler episodes, but seasons 2 and 3 I think pick up a lot better in my
Mm,
opinion. I feel like there's less filler episodes, and even the filler episodes that there are, they feel more relevant to the
okay.
story.
Cool. Cool.
Definitely.
What about the live action shows? Because we mentioned about the Clone Wars, but that's animated. What about the live actions? We've had the Mandalorian, we've had
Mandalorian. Yeah.
Andor,
Mhm.
Ahsoka. Like, talked. Have you seen also Skeleton Crew? Is this
I
something
have
that
not
you've been?
started Skeleton Crew yet. I just after
Okay.
Acolyte, I've been kind of taking a little bit of a break from Star
So
Wars right now.
you're one of those. You saw the Acolyte. You're one of those that saw it.
Yep, with discount Ezra
Uh,
Miller as the
y-
villain.
okay. Now I understand the love hate relationship.
Yes. And I've been a big defender of Disney Star Wars, but I'm not a blind defender. But I love Rogue One. I loved
Oh, dude.
Andor.
Yeah.
Those that's probably some of the
Rogue
best
One
Disney
was.
Star Wars ever.
Yeah. Rogue One
Just
was.
the
So
ending
what?
of Rogue One made it all worth it, in my opinion. The ending of that
Yeah.
movie, where you
Like
finally
one
get
of
to
the
see Darth
things.
Vader.
Actually, do I have it here? Yeah. Hold on. Let me show you something back here. I got it right here. So the only thing that I'm pissed and I'm furious that they didn't get right. Like
Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I am a huge Obi-Wan Kenobi fan because I watched the what's it called? I saw the original trilogy. I also saw the original trilogy when they re-released it in theaters. What was the special edition
Special
ones in the
edition,
late
yeah.
'90s, and that's when then later came the prequels. And I loved, dude. I fucking loved Obi-Wan Kenobi in the prequels. I know you said that Anakin was your guy. Mine is Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, I would say, is my favorite too.
Real quick, Batman, have you seen the original version of Star Wars? Like the original, the way it was released back in, when was the first Star Wars released? I can never remember. 1977. Have you seen the original version of that film?
I don't think I have, and if I have, it was when I was really young. Because I've seen other versions, but not the original. Like, for example, I did see Sebastian Shaw, but it wasn't. I don't think it was the original version of Return of the Jedi. I think it was that in between version where it's still Sebastian Shaw, but they play the new theme, and you still. It's been so long that I wouldn't really remember it. And you know how George Lucas was about hiding the original versions, but. I have a hot take. I don't hate every single change that was made to the original trilogy. I think some changes made sense. I think there's some changes that I think were good. They were just done poorly. For example, I think the Hayden Christensen Ghost made a lot of sense. My issue is how they did it, because what they did is they put Hayden Christensen's head on Sebastian Shaw's body and they slimmed down the shoulders.
Yeah.
Like Ian McDermott, when he did his new scene for Empire Strikes Back, it was done during the filming of Revenge of the Sith. So George Lucas could have done the same thing with Hayden Christensen. He could have said, hey, stand there, look like a proud father for a few minutes, and I'll use my magic to make that look like a Force ghost. That could have very easily been done, and it would have looked a lot better, because he looks so creepy at the end. He just the way he has it, like
it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look natural. Yeah. Real quick, Batman, I wanted, since you haven't seen the original version of A New Hope, I want to point you in the direction of something. A few years back, there was I think it was just a bunch of fans who ended up putting together something called the Star Wars Despecialized Edition. So if you get the chance, Google that, Star Wars Despecialized Edition. And what they did was they released a high definition version of A New Hope, and they somehow managed to restore all the original footage as it was originally seen back in 1977 in high definition. And this is a project, and it's I have it on a hard drive actually, but it's a project that you can download. Just Google it, Star Wars Despecialized Edition.
Thank you, I will, and I may send you guys the link before I download anything, just to make sure it's the right link, so I don't download any malware.
because I'd like to see that too, because I've never heard of that. So that's something to me.
Like I said, I have the file sitting on a hard drive here. So if you guys can't find it online, let me know, and I'll figure out a way to upload it and send it to you guys. But let's move on. I wanted to ask you, Batman, I wanted to talk about your YouTube channel, because you are a YouTuber, you do create content. So I wanted to know, why did you decide to start a YouTube channel, and let the audience know what kind of content you put out there?
Yeah, so there was many reasons why I decided to start a YouTube channels, because I kind of was like the Incredible Hulk of YouTubers, where basically, you know how the Hulk can't be in his own Marvel movie, but he can be part of an ensemble cast. That's what I was, basically. I didn't have my own YouTube channel, but I constantly appeared on other people's YouTube channels. I would appear on Zodwriter, Sil Abdul, the Bat Channel, and there was a lot of encouragement from me to start my own channel. And I had the idea for a while, Bat Dan's Thoughts, but I think what really kind of got me is when Zodwriter had me on for late night Q&A. And Super Bowl Corey in the chat put me on the spot. He's like, so when is Bat Dan 530, which is what I was known by at the time, when is he going to do his own YouTube channel? And that's when it happened. That's when, forget it, or screw it, let's just do it.
How long has the channel been, how long have you been live on the channel?
Let's say about 2.5 years right now. But it wasn't like when I started, I was live. I was like an active YouTuber right away. Kind of how the way my original format was is I would record a video. I wouldn't even look at it, because I didn't, at the time I had an anxiety about watching myself. And then I would upload it. So I would do this every so often, and then what happened is I found myself that I bounce off a lot better when I'm with someone else. That's what I really found. And so
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
what started Bat Dance discussions in a way, was I did that. And then I had my very first episode with Super Bro Corey discussing if we can still have Henry Cavill's Man of Steel 2 after this whole reboot announcement. So that was our very first video. And then eventually so Bat Dance discussions wasn't originally live streamed. It was originally a pre-recorded show. But then when I started doing live streams, when I interviewed Skywalker the Jedi about his Cell campaign, Cell Zia Shale to Netflix, Cell Snyderverse to Netflix. That's what got me started into the live streams of my YouTube channel. And then I started doing more short videos, but I would edit them a lot more. I would cut out the 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 stuff that's not necessarily going to get cut out right now because this is a conversation, but when I'm talking live, I would cut that stuff out, or if my internet went bad at a certain point, and then I would put pictures on the top left corner.
Basically, you'd clean up the video as best as you could.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I've even started doing Bat Dance Thoughts Remastered, where I go through some of my old videos where the topics are still relevant, and I clean those videos up too. So even though it's already been uploaded, I figured, you know what? I have a new audience. This topic is still relevant. Let's clean this video up so that new viewers, they can see this version. It's kind of like, they kind of go back to Star Wars a little bit. My relations with the old versions of those videos is like George Lucas's relationship with the original version of the original trilogy. Like, once that's uploaded, I put it on private mode. If you watch it, I want you to watch this version right here. But again, not all videos are going to get the remaster because either the topic is no longer relevant or the reasoning for the topic is no longer relevant. Like, for example, I've been a huge supporter of Ezra Miller through all the allegations, everything. But I'm not going to remaster that first Ezra Miller video because there's been a lot of information that's come out since that video. And while my stance for Ezra Miller remains the same, there's lots of things that change. Like, for example, I don't want Ezra Miller as the Flash with Warner Brothers anymore because that's under James Gunn. I don't want that. I want Ezra Miller as the Flash on Netflix. But since in that video I'm all about restore the Snyderverse, my reasoning changes, so that video is no longer up to date.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Right. Tell me something about Dan. What is it's 2025 right now, so it's since you are a YouTube channel, you are a content creator as well. Tell the audience, what is Bat Dance Thoughts objective for 2025? What are you going to bring to the people that are listening to you and want to join you on your journey, subscribing to your channel? Tell us, what can they expect from you this year?
One thing they can expect from me this year is I want to do more interviews. Because I knew Mikey Sutton. He was a friend to us all, but
rest his soul.
Mikey Verse Forever. But I actually done some streams with him. And actually for my birthday stream in 2023, I interviewed Mikey Sutton about Dreamwalker.
Yeah, Bat Dan, just real quick, let the audience know what Dreamwalker is. Fill in the people who might not have known Mikey Sutton and might not have known what that project was about.
So Mikey Sutton was also a writer. He wrote Geekosity. He was a big writer, but he was writing this new comic book series called Dreamwalker. And it was a comic book series starting Kate, a character named Kate, who was going to be played by Kate Valadez in his series he was going to do. But basically she would walk into dreams, basically. And what Mikey did is he was making us all characters. His friends, he was making characters in this comic book series, including me. Unfortunately, only the first 2 issues got released before he passed away, but I just wanted to kind of show off the issues that I have of Dreamwalker.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Do you plan on grading them or no?
So hang on. Go ahead.
Open some of these. Like
there's
certain. Oh, go on.
Let's just keep going. Roll with it.
Okay. So basically, there's there's certain like special versions of the comic book that Mikey Sutton sold, so not the main versions. Those off prints I'm not opening because I already have a version that I read. So to me, there's no reason to open up those versions and decrease the value. I do believe like comics books should not just be collected, but at the same time, if you have multiple versions, you might as well just leave one for collecting. So
Gotcha. So I wanted to say, real quick. So you said Mikey released two issues. I saw you had 4 issues there. So what is the difference? Is it just a different cover variant? Is that what the difference is between them?
yes, it's actually been so long right now, but yeah, it's basically mostly just a different cover variant, essentially.
Sure.
That's the main difference. So, and at the time I was really supporting Mikey Sutton, I was all in on it, and yeah, so that's why I bought multiple versions of the comic book, and that's why I interviewed him on my birthday because I wanted to promote the comic book. I wanted to do something special for my birthday stream because it's a birthday stream. I want to do something big, and to me, Dreamwalker was big. So I interviewed him on my birthday, and he really liked my interviews. He said he really believed in my interviewing skills. So one thing I want to do for Mikey Sutton since he passed away is to do what he believed in me and try to get more interviews out, get to know more of the community. So that's what I want to do.
Batan, I wanted to ask you about, you recently had the opportunity to have your likeness used in an upcoming AI fan film created by Zodwriter, our friend Zodwriter. I believe that film is called One Punch Dan. So I would like you to tell us about that experience, and tell us what it's like having your likeness used in this film.
Yeah, so it actually started when Zodwriter, Josh Herrera, and I were reviewing Army of Thieves. Remember that one scene in the beginning of the movie where you're going through that montage of Dieter's job, and there's a woman at the bank, a customer yelling at him?
Mm-hmm.
I was joking about how I wanted to just punch the Karen, and that was a running joke that those guys ran with, that Zodwriter and Josh Herrera ran with. And what happened is Josh Herrera coined the term One Punch Dan, and Sin Havoc started the hashtag. So Zodwriter decided to run with it and actually create an actual movie based on it. And it's very surreal listening to it, honestly. So it's my I'm saying my likeness loosely because I'm never going to be that buff. You see, if you see One Punch Man, he's very buff. That's probably never going to be me. So I'm going to say likeness very loosely.
Never say never, dude. Never say never. But go on.
But my voice, yeah, it's very surreal. But I love the project though, because it's a way for Zodwriter to include a lot of his friends in this project, because in some ways it's kind of what Mikey Sutton was doing with Dreamwalker. Is Zodwriter's doing the same thing, as he's putting anyone who gave permission, he's making a character in this movie through AI.
It's like he's including the community that
right.
We've all been a part of for so long. It's really cool.
Exactly. And actually, Zodwriter reached out to Mikey Sutton's family, so Mikey Sutton is also going to be a character in this movie too.
Way.
Wow.
He's actually a mentor figure to everyone, to all the characters. He's the father of the Cordovan speedster, played by Sox Bulletins, and it's really cool. Like he's making him a real.
Now I'm even more excited for this, dude. I want to see what Zod does with Mikey. That's going to be dope. Have you seen? It's not to spoil it, but have you seen like the dailies that Zod has been doing, or is he keeping everything tied to the knot and just waiting for the release? I mean, have you shared any stuff with you?
Anything he shared with me is on YouTube. I've actually kind of even asked him not to share too much with me, because I want to be surprised too. Like, I will see the assembly cut before it's released, but I want to be somewhat surprised too. I mean, I do know a lot about what's going on in this project. I do know some of the hidden backstories about certain characters too, but he's going to be doing a lot with this. He's going to be doing spin-offs. He's going to do a prequel series for Josh Herrera, and just so people know, Josh Herrera and I have a bit of a joking rivalry with this project because Josh Herrera's character, Josh is like, oh, he's like talking about how much better he is than One Punch Dan and how he's gonna, how like no heroes, and that's why I just am jokingly with Josh Herrera. It's like, Josh, you and me, go right now. You and me, we're gonna settle this right now. But I really do love this project, and I'll be honest, I do have some fears with AI. It does scare me. But here's the thing: whether I like it or not, it's here to stay. I can't do anything about it, so I much rather have fun with it than worry about it.
Exactly.
Like,
Like I've even started using AI to like for the podcast, you know, because I there's so many things that I can't come up with ideas with description, and I just go to the mother. I call it the mother box.
The mother box.
I call it the mother box. So I go to the mother box and hey, mother box, make this what I want to say sound pretty and neat and professional. Blah blah blah. Blah and boom, done. So
It does the job. It does the
job. You know, absolutely.
Batman. Hey, I want you to make sure you let the audience know when is the release date of that film. I'm sure you guys have a date planned, so just real quick, let everybody know.
Oh yeah, July 11th, 2025, and that date may sound familiar to people because that is the date that Superman 2025 is releasing, and Zodwriter is dedicating the movie to Mikey Sutton and James Gunn's dad.
Wow, awesome. All right, perfect, man.
Well, back then, we will definitely have you and Zod back into the channel weeks before to help you guys promote it. So absolutely. So back then, I want to thank you for coming in to the Lethal Geeks podcast and have people hear your story, your journey, where you started, where you're going, and what the objective is, because this YouTube game, it never ends. Once you start, it's just a continuous journey, and I'm grateful that you were able to share this with us, and that we're also part of that journey, because yes, we have been to your channel many times. We've watched movies, watch-along movies I have done watch-alongs with you as well. So I want to thank you for coming in here to the podcast. And definitely, we're going to have you back in the future to promote One Punch Dan.
Thank you. Absolutely. And before we close this off, I do got to show one thing real quick.
Go for it, buddy.
So, as some of you may know, I met Sophia Boutella at Fan Expo Chicago.
Right, that's right. You met Sophia, yes.
And so this is a cell shirt that's designed by Austin from the Cool Table. And this is cell, for those of you who don't know, this is a campaign to get Zack Snyder's DC universe properly concluded on Netflix or any third party, with the primary focus being on Netflix.
Hashtag sell ZSJL to Netflix. Hashtag sell Snyderverse to Netflix.
Exactly. And then let's see. This camera does not capture this well. Okay, right here, I think it is.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I saw it right there. Yeah, I see the lines.
There's a bit of a signature, but Sophia Boutella herself signed my cell shirt, and I'll just say, she's a really sweet person. She is so nice. She was so excited to meet her fans, and there's pictures on social media, and maybe a picture you guys already saw, where I'm a little nervous because I'm very terrible at meeting celebrities. So, but it was a great experience. I wanted to share that one real quick because I think it was really cool meeting her.
That's awesome, buddy. Real quick, before we end this, if you could cast Sophia Boutella as any character in Zack Snyder's DC universe, who would it be?
One of the female Furies. I haven't decided which one, but I would say one of the female Furies. I would say Supergirl, but I want Zack Snyder to have the option to use Sasha Calle if he chooses to. So I'm going to go with one of the female Furies. I think she would be perfect for.
What about Berta? Big Berta.
Berta.
I could see that one too. Yeah, Big Berta. That'd be another good one.
No, because I can see her doing that, being Berta. Absolutely. But yeah, dude. All right then. Batman, again, thank you very much for sharing your story, and we will definitely have you on, guys. Please go the link in the description for Batman's channel. go like, share, and subscribe to him. Go support him, and go listen to his Tibetan's thoughts.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming on the show, Bat Dan. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys, and have a bat-tastic day.